Good morning.
Good morning.
Good
Good
morning.
morning, everybody. Welcome. How you doing, Butterfly?
I'm great. I'm great. I'm great. I'm ready. Ready. Let's do this.
Good. Me too. I slept so good. Slept
How
so
are
good.
you?
I'm great. I slept a long time. I went to bed at like 9:30, and
Yeah.
man, if I could stay until till 9:30 a.m., I probably I probably would, and probably could just sleep right through it. But I am doing great. Welcome, everybody. This is the End This Season podcast with your host, the Butterfly, the beautiful Butterfly, my mother, and her co-host, none other than me, B, Brandon. So it's good to see y'all this
Hey,
morning. I hope
hey,
everybody woke
B.
up and is doing well. Yes, ma'am.
Check your Instagram
Okay.
and see what you got because it's telling me it's that maybe you closed your browser. If not, send me a new key and I'll get you back going.
All right. Let me
Did it
see.
connect that one?
It did not connect this
Can you send
that
me
I
a new
see,
one
but
and
I will
I'll
go get
get
sure.
it going?
Sure.
Okay.
So y'all,
All
while we
right.
while we get that going, um, let's look in the chat and see who we got with us today. Who's popping in so far?
Yeah. Say hello to us this morning. Let us know if you have the book. Um, Let me head over to the chat where you're listening from. So I'll tell you, my day was easy peasy yesterday. I had grandbabies, and I'm going to share the story of the imagination while you're doing that. So I picked the grandbabies up. I'm so trying not to say my. So picked the grandbabies up, and
They
they
are
love
yours. They are
airplanes.
cranberries.
I don't know. I'm just being very careful about the word mine, just for a season.
Oh,
Just for a
okay.
season.
All right. I'm
So
with
so they saw the airplane. Did you get it set up and send it?
you. The airplane.
No, the new key. Street just Instagram. Did
Oh
you
yeah,
send
yeah,
me a
yeah,
new one?
yeah, yeah. I did. I did. I was
You
like,
got
the
baby
airplane.
you got baby brain. Daddy brain.
You switched
So
subjects
let
on
me
me so
do it.
quick. I was like, what?
When you stopped, I was just like, okay, did he do it? So okay, you guys
Yeah,
just
yeah.
forgive us for just a moment. I'm gonna reconnect this. That's crazy. Yes, remove. Now I'm gonna redo it. Go ahead, talk to the people, Brandon, and I'm doing this.
Okay. Just wanted to say, hey to everybody. I hope y'all got this book. If you did get the book, let me know if y'all got it. I want to make sure to see who's following along with us. Okay, so we good, Mom, over there?
We should
Awesome.
be good.
Awesome. Looks good. Looks good. So I'll go live here on Instagram Live for everybody there to check in with us. And I think we are good. Cool. Yep, we good. Good to go.
Thank you for your
Good to go.
patience, and we just want to make sure everybody is getting getting these daily motivations. So
So
we're
again, y'all get this book. This is our 26th day of going through this book
three more
consecutive,
days. Three more
consecutive,
days.
3 more days, but consecutive 26 days and reading Dennis Kimbro's Daily Motivations for African American Success on the In This Season podcast. And in this season, it is Black History Month, a celebration and acknowledgement of Black History Month. We've been here every single day in February, giving you the best of this book every single day, a short passage and 365 short but powerful motivations, one for every single day of the year. Dennis Kimbro leads us to discover how to use the present moment and our own gifts to transcend labels, cultivate a positive attitude, and become wise enough to know when to say yes and when to say no, and to look inward for answers to life's challenges. So, this is going to help you focus on your thoughts, your attitudes, and deeds that'll lead to the achievement of your true goals. Each motivation begins with words of wisdom from such distinguished African Americans who are celebrated as Malcolm X, Marion Wright Elderman, Whoopi Goldberg, Charlene Hunter Galt. The list just goes on and on. And this treasure trove of practical wisdom and inspiration will give you fresh encouragement every day of the year, but what it teaches you will last a lifetime. And I can just say from what it's taught me and what I've learned, what I've been able to pull out of these passages over the last month, have helped me in so many ways. Almost too many ways. I almost have too many things. I'm like, oh my goodness, there's locks and levels unlocking inside of my brain and consciousness about myself and how much that has to do with what I see, how I perceive, what I experience, and how I feel. throughout the day. So I hope you guys are having a similar change, a similar positive change of your thoughts, attitudes, um, and that it's helping you reach another level. And you might not
Mm,
see it manifest as of right now externally, but we know that all of these things start internally. So starting that manifestation process begins with inspiration. It begins with acknowledgement. It begins with turning a new leaf and transforming your mind, renewing your mind, as my mother always says. And that's what produces or can co-produce that reality. So thank y'all again for joining us. Anything you want to add, Mother? Because I can't wait to get into today's practice.
I want to tell them what granddaughter said
Oh yeah, yeah,
yesterday.
yeah.
So we were driving and they saw the airplane and they always get excited. So Tupac, the 3 year old, says, so the plane is coming in to Memphis and land, getting ready to land. So, as it descends, it is you can't see it. So Tupac says, "Oh, Grandma, I can't see it anymore." And he's kind of impatient. He's just like, the plane's supposed to do what I want to do, right? But he's like, "I can't see it anymore." He said it a few times, and then Zolly says, "Well, I can still see it because I got imagination." Did y'all hear what I said? So she was like, I can still see it because I got imagination. So I asked her, what is imagination? She said, seeing far.
Wow.
That was her definition. So 5 years old, y'all. 5 years old. So I was just too tickled. I was tickled beyond words and laugh. So the
Far,
babies know. The babies know.
seeing far. How about that? That's actually a good definition. You
For
know,
her
seeing
age, right? Seeing far.
it kind of involves seeing ahead, or imagining something that may be there, but that can be there if
Mm-hmm.
she thinks it hard enough, maybe put some action behind it. So it's like seeing far into the future or seeing far into
Right.
what she wants to see happen. So that's
Right.
beautiful, and hopefully I can be a good guardian of that imagination and help lead it
Mm-hmm.
to the right way. She has a big imagination. She drew so many pictures yesterday. She drew all these pictures. She drew brothers and sisters and was imagining the things she was drawing in different colors. So she'd draw the same thing in different colors on different pages. And she was like, this is the brother, this is the mother, this is the sister, this is the cousin. She had a family member for every color of what she was drawing. I just thought it was incredible just to see her at that age having so much artistic ability and imagination. And we went to sleep all last night. Probably the kids went to sleep about 9, but Sella was reading them to sleep, and I ended up falling asleep myself.
Hey, Brandon, that's beautiful. I got one to share. You guys bear with us just for a minute here. So about 1 years old, if maybe about one, maybe she had just turned one, and I was taking her for a walk, and there was this guy mowing the lawn at this house, and she said, we're walking by the house, and she said, "Grandma, look, it's a daddy." Not a man, but a daddy. Grandma, look, it's a daddy. And she was talking about the man that was mowing the lawn. And I just thought, wow, that is so beautiful because again, she didn't see man, she saw what I guess what a man does. She equated. So I wish I could just get in her little mind and figured out what all that was about. But she said, Grandma, look, it's a daddy with such excitement. So
Get
listen and look at the babes. All right, let's get into it.
into it. You ready?
Yes,
All
February
right, all
26th.
right. So February 26th. Let's see here. Thank y'all for bearing with us too. We got our coffee, we got our book. Let's jump right in. So today's title is One Size Fits All. One Size Fits All. And our quote today is from Julaine Mulvey, an economist and syndicated writer. And her quote is, "It's a two-way street. Too many of us clothe ourselves in poverty." It's a two-way street. Too many of us clothe ourselves in poverty. Interesting. Sometimes we must admit we should be doing more with our lives. Too often we follow the crowd instead of pursuing our own goals. We worship the masses instead of our hopes and dreams. Our outlook is analogous to the man who went to a tailor to be fitted for a new suit. When the suit was ready, he stood before a mirror for final alterations. I think the sleeve is a bit too short for my arm, he told the tailor. You may have to lengthen it. The sleeve is not too short, answered the tailor. Your arm is too long. Just draw up your arm into the sleeve and it'll look just fine. Reluctantly, the man did so, but this threw the collar of the jacket out of whack. Now the sleeve looks all right, but look at the gap between my neck and the jacket. There's nothing wrong with the jacket, the tailor said defensively. What you need to do is raise your left shoulder a few inches. The man again complied, but now the rear of the coat was lifted far above the waist. When he showed the tailor this misalignment, he was instructed, lower your head and lean forward, and there will be no problem. Finally, the man walked out of the shop convinced of its proper fit, but he had to walk in a contorted position. As he stepped onto a bus, the man next to him laughed and said, I know where you purchased that suit. How do you know that? Because there's only one tailor who could fit a man as crippled as you. The Creator did not intend for any of us to blindly follow the crowd. We will begin to make our mark when we follow our own thoughts. And the affirmation for today is I will not sell my short. I will open myself up to new ideas and opportunities. I will not sell myself short. Open myself up to new ideas and opportunities. And one more time, I will not sell myself short. I will open myself up to new ideas and opportunities. What do you think about that one? That was kind of funny.
I'm
But
stuck on the
I know
part.
where you got that.
Yeah, because there's only one tailor who could fit a man as crippled as you. So is he? Help me with that. I'm not getting that one because there's only one tailor who could fit a man who is as crippled as you.
Well,
So I've got to
I
get
think
out the
there's a
box.
bunch
I've got the
of
box on this one.
I think there's a bunch of assumptions that are made by both men. There's an assumption by the man uh, who's saying, I know exactly where you got that from. There's only one tailor that can fit a man as crippled as you. He could be assuming that it's a different tailor, but while at the same time, the man who has the tailor could be assuming that he's talking about who he's talking about. But it seems to never be defined in that one. It's just that they both have assumptions, right? And that kind of makes me think about the quote that it's a two-way street. Too many of us clothe ourselves in poverty. So it's not just what the man is thinking of him; it's what he's thinking of himself.
Oh. And the
You see what I'm saying?
clothes. Too many of us clothe ourselves in poverty. Now
Ourselves,
we got the suit that's been tailored but does
exactly,
not fit, but
exactly,
still doesn't properly
right.
fit.
So
So,
no matter who the tailor is, it's still the
whoa,
same tailor. No
whoa.
matter who it is, right? The way I see it.
Okay, so one size fits all. Oh man, y'all. Okay, I'm getting it. We got to keep piecing it together. Think about when we go into these shops. Matter of fact, I just had this yesterday. I had someone I was going through a couple of bags of clothes, right? And I pulled out something that
Mhm.
said one size fits all. I'm like, no, this won't fit Tammy, right? So that's not true. One size does not fit all. Some of y'all need to stop believing this. Okay, I'm getting it. So, but it does say one size, one size fits all. And then when you go back down to where I said, as crippled as you, think about how I always say, what would it look like if I passed by or if you passed by and you saw me fighting me, right? What even would my clothes look like? Think about the chaos, you know.
Yeah.
But as crippled as you and apply that to life, there's only one tailor who could fit a man as crippled as you. And you know who I think the tailor is in this situation? The two-sided coin is you. You're the tailor.
Mm-hmm.
You're the tailor trying to piece together a suit on a crippled person. And by crippled, and I'm not throwing shade, I mean one who is fighting himself or herself, one who is not intentional about thinking positive about their goals and their intentions. So you're right, Brandon. There's so much that could be bought out of this.
Or what about
This
him
is,
just contorting
yeah,
himself to fit the mold of a suit that doesn't fit
right.
him? He
Raising
went
up
to
his
get it.
arm.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
went to get a tailored suit that fit him who he was. So he was walking into the store. How many of us walk into a job and say, you know, this job is going to be perfect for me by the job description, but we get there and the employer is like, you're like, hey, well, this isn't working. This is inefficient. I don't understand why y'all got me doing this and got me coming in 30 minutes early for this, but I'm not getting paid for this 30 minutes. And they're like, well, everybody does it. Well, wait a minute, y'all got me staying an hour late and I'm not getting paid overtime. Well, you just need to, you know, you might not be as motivated as everybody else. So you do you really want to be a part of this team, or and really they just trying not to pay you. Really that tailor just trying not to cut your suit back up to make it fit you because they giving you the suit from the last person that walked out the door. So which one of you fools is gonna fit the suit that wasn't really fitted to you?
gonna walk out
What's
the
it?
door with the suit that you paid to have tailored. And that's what we do in life. Like we try
Yeah,
to fit our lives to match um, the world.
the
We
perception is
conform to the patterns of the world. And he conformed to the suit that he hired or tailored to do, when we have a creator that's created us to do what we need to do. And all of that is inside of us. And you don't have to put your arm up, hunch your back in, and
man.
walk out the way that you're walking out in the world.
I always thought when I was in I remember being in college and I could tell, you know, when the young ladies
Mm,
would be walking down the street and, you know, I could tell they freshmen in college because I know they ain't never wore no heels like that in school back at home. So they look so silly and so stupid, to be honest with you. In them big old high heels, 3, 4 inches, trying to walk down the street, can't walk over a crack in the concrete without slipping. And I mean, me and the guys would just sit there and look at them like, who are they trying to impress, man? You know what I mean?
yeah,
Contorting their back and all that. And I don't know if you noticed, but high heels were actually made to make women look like felines, to look like cats. You know how cats walk on their tiptoes
yeah.
like that?
Mhm.
So they're having to contort their bodies, you know, to put their butt up in the air. And it's like, man, you look ridiculous. You know, it might be cool for a moment, maybe for a picture, but if you can't walk a mile in those shoes, that's for sure. So it's like, how far can you actually go contorting yourself to look like a cat? And how far can you go contorting yourself to fit in a suit that's not yours? You know, so I think that's very interesting how we clothe ourselves in poverty. I think that's an interesting point too, that it's not nothing in this story spoke about money in relation to the quote of poverty. So that tells me that poverty is a mindset. Poverty is something that isn't really
Mhm.
tangible. It isn't
Mhm.
an assessment or an inventory of how much you have versus how much you don't have. In comparison to what you don't have, it's more like what is the way in which you're approaching your life? Are you approaching your life as a um, as a person who's motivated and pushed by their ambitions, by their own thoughts, their independent critical thinking, or is it someone who is led with the masses and will go whichever way the wind blows? You know what I mean? And I just think that's a critical juncture of what this means. It's a two-way street. Too many of us clothe ourselves in poverty. So it's not just society. It's not just the economics of the time. It's not just disenfranchisement. It's not just real poverty. It is. There are some factors to that, but we have to take responsibility and take accountability for our part in perpetuating um, generalizations of poverty as associated with Black people. So poverty is more than money. It's a mindset. Have we have we said, oh man, since everybody else likes J's, I like J's. Since everybody else likes red bottoms, I like red bottoms. Since everybody
Mm.
else is since everybody else wants to wear this, you know, these skinny jeans that I can't you can't pass gas in. am I gonna am I gonna wear these same skinny jeans and try to walk a mile? So I mean, I really do. And there's some people that like skinnies, like genuinely like those. And if that's you, I might not be talking to you right now. You might still look silly to me, but I'm not talking to you specifically.
Okay, you can like them, but truth be told, how do they fit you? How like it's got to be crazy or messing with you to keep walking and pulling up your pants or trying to make room in those pants. Come on now. How are you able to think? I want to go back to this part where it says the man again complied. Now this means that he's gone through this several times. It doesn't fit here, it doesn't fit here. The man again complied. So when have you continued to comply to something that is right in your face and you see it and you know it? The man again complied, but now the rear of the coat was lifted far above the waist. When he showed the tailor this misalignment, he was instructed, lower your head and lean forward, right? So that's why the man said, cripple as you, because it made him look crippled as to all the things that he had to do to make it fit, right? So think about all the
Right,
things you
right,
may do or accept or go with that makes you look crippled because you're not one with yourself, right?
right.
So lower your head, lean forward, and there will be no problem. Finally, the man walked out of the shop convinced of its proper fit. All right. I'm going to say, but in spite of, he had to walk in a contorted position,
Contorted, yeah.
contorted position. So, in spite of, he had to walk in a contorted position. As he stepped onto a bus, the man next to him laughed and said, I know you where you purchased that suit. So, think about this. I hate to say this, but Brandon's kind of going back to what you said. Y'all sitting there laughing because you see the women. I mean, and I've seen this. Lord have mercy. I've been this person as well. Like you'd be like, why did I put these shoes on? And I know it's the same for everybody. Y'all can't tell me that these shoes not hurting your feet. I'm sorry, you cannot tell me that they don't hurt, right? So I've
Thought
seen
I'll
it.
tell you this. When I was a
People
kid, I
walking
thought
to the point like they're in tears almost. It feels like they're just like, and they're trying to, fake it. And somebody seeing you be like, mm-mm.
I thought I thought I thought corns and bunions was hereditary. I ain't gonna lie to you. When I was a kid, I thought I
They
was like,
are. They
oh,
are.
they are okay. I'm just
But
I'm
they're
just saying.
created too. They're
Yeah,
created through some of the
yeah.
things.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I remember seeing like, why is everybody's shoes hurting their feet?
Yeah.
And we can't. We have to realign ourselves for progress. And it's hard to progress when you can't even take a step because you're trying to fit a shoe that says one size fits all. If that shoe don't stretch, if that shoe isn't made out of materials that forms to your feet, it don't fit all, y'all. And I, I'll be the first to admit that like it's a struggle. Like I live in Memphis. I live in Memphis. And I love Memphis. Memphis has a lot of different facets to it. But by and large, where the city of Memphis is pushed to the world as this very, backwards, thuggerly place. And I'm not saying it has those elements, but it's mainly due to the descriptions of poverty that exist in Memphis. But I'm telling you, I have met some of the most intelligent people in the hood of Memphis. And I've met some of the most ignorant people in the wealthiest parts of Memphis. So I really do believe that it is a choice. But I think what this passage speaks to is the fact that we cannot clothe ourselves in poverty and expect to be healthy human beings, healthy individuals inside, internally and externally. Because if we believe we're poor, and if we say that, that's an affirmation that we're giving ourselves, a false affirmation saying that we're poor, that we exist in a certain way. I remember hearing a story about a it wasn't a story, it was a documentary, I believe, where uh, A&Rs and record execs were looking for the next big rapper, right? And all the rappers came in, and the first thing that they would say when they say, "Hey, give us one of your rhymes," it would be something that was motivational, something that had depth, something that had this sense of like metaphor and entendres and all these literary devices. Really had a positive story or something like that inside of it, or at least a real story. And they said, "Well, do you have anything that's more like this or more talking about this?" So basically, they degraded it down and dumbed it down to be something that was violent, that was misogynistic, that was arrogant, that was kind of combative, and it sounded like the things that you would normally hear on the radio, and it was a far cry away from what the rapper originally said, right? Or actually, no, I'm getting it confused. The rapper would come in and say he would say the first thing. I'm sorry, he would say the first thing, the real kind of ratchet uh, verse, and then and the executive would say, "Do you have anything else?" Right? Or the A&R would say, "Do you have anything else that's more conscious?" So they were kind of flipping it on his head, and every rapper, that's what it was, had a conscious style verse that they had, and they were like, "Well, I just didn't think that you guys wanted this." You see what I'm saying? So they were promoting what they thought the world wanted to hear instead of what they actually had as an artist.
Right.
And I just found that interesting. So it's not exactly the record exec's fault 100% for saying, "Hey, let me give you a chance. What type of rhymes do you have? What type of music do you have?" But it was the actual rappers coming in and saying, like, "This is what I think y'all want to hear. This is what I've heard on the radio. So I'm gonna fit that form.
Their form,
I'm gonna
right.
fit that form, even though I got this beautiful rhyme, this 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 uplifting rhyme, or even this descriptive,
Hmm.
even if it's not uplifting, but descriptive of a historical event rhyme that I have that's way better." I don't do it because that's not what the world, quote unquote, wants. That's not how the world has tailored the suit of a rapper. You feel me?
And so that's not really their problem. It's, I shouldn't say their problem. That's us, because if they are putting out what they think we want to hear, and obviously we do, because what's the word, I
Contort.
guess I'll say we conform to it. But also, Brandon, this says it's a two-way street. So one size fits all. It's a two-way street. Remember the two-sided coin. Too many of us clothe ourselves in poverty. So when he's saying the one size fits all and it's a two-way street, think about the coin, the one that we said about the coin. What he's saying is, or what I believe he's saying, some of us clothe ourselves in poverty on that other side of the coin. But what he's saying is that, and I put out there, poverty of the mind can refer to a lack of education, knowledge, or critical thinking skills. It can also be encompass a encompass a mindset of hopelessness, limited beliefs, and lack of imagination or creativity, right?
There's that word again.
And so, right, there's that word again. And we come to that. I remember in journaling the scriptures, one of the guys said, when you are disagreeing or you don't agree with something, or it makes you feel some kind of way, you have to ask yourself, what are you comparing it to? Or who are you comparing yourself to get that poverty mindset that's keeping you from understanding that this is a two-sided coin. What's good for the goose is also good for the gander. If the gander can get it, the goose can get it, right? So you have to train your
Right.
mind, you have to renew your mind and understand that, because, and let me say this, there's some people who think or say or maybe have been come from poverty, but they came out not just financially, physically, worldly, but they had to have something mentally to get out and stay out and be able to
Right.
enjoy the things of the world without wanting to get more and more and more. Because again, like I said a few days ago, there comes a point when there's just no more fun in the getting. When do you
Mm,
get and you sit down and you enjoy what you got? Or how do you enjoy what you got if you always got to keep working to keep it up? I was
yeah.
having a conversation with a man, and I hate to talk about, like, it feels like we're talking about women, but this is a conversation. He was saying, I just can't support the sisters anymore. Meaning,
Mm,
I can't, I can't. This is what he said. I can't pay for the weave, the nails, the red bottoms, the shoes, and everything else. I can't pay for that. And it actually reminded me, and I shared this with him, of something you said about a young lady um, long, long, long ago. That's like, Brandon, why don't you? She's beautiful. She's got, and he was like, Mom, and I guess I could say this. She wants everything name brand, including her underwear. I can't do that. He said, I can't, because you wanted someone to stay at home, take care of the kids, who wanted to do that. You wanted someone who also wanted to do that. And so this is not, of course, talking about the one size fits all, but I think it's important because I feel like a lot of times we as women, a lot of the things we do it so that we can get a man, whether we will agree to it or not. Because if not, just go like you are. If you don't think that those things are beneficial, yeah, it may make you look good, but how is something helping you that's also hurting you?
you know what?
Walking in the shoes and things like that. We will go home and be in pure pain from trying to walk in those shoes.
You know what
And
it
when
reminds
you're
me of though, like what I've seen, and and of course I'm a man, so I can't and I know we're speaking a little bit more about the sisters today, but there's so much. We talked about the brothers yesterday, so
we did.
there's so much about, yeah, right. So we in pursuant of equality, or at least equity, what I see is that, yeah, I think the original inspiration for women, and I won't say the original, but some inspiration for women comes from uh, finding a suitable partner, right? A
Hmm.
man of status, a man of hopefully a particular character, things like that, right? But what I notice is that's what it is in theory, but in practice, it seems to me like women uh, um, competing with one another more so than they are trying to attract a mate. You know what I mean? I see them. I see them get lost in competing with each other and what the other woman has, and that's why I feel like I'll hear certain young women say, I would rather hang out with a group of guys, because if I hang out with a group of girls, they all just gonna fight and undercut each other and gossip and all this other stuff. So it's like, you know, I think that's very interesting. But I also want to get at the point of that men do the same thing. We also do the same thing. We conform ourselves to fit that tailored suit in different ways. And I really do think that we as African Americans have a generational issue right now where our men aren't being men and our women aren't being women. We're all like these, not all, but the culture that's promoted, which I don't think is ours, we have no equity in, and it does not serve us. So I'm not saying that all of us are like this, but the people specifically that aren't inside of our culture, that are controlling the airwaves, that promote people that look like us, are not serving our best interests. So think about what you listen to, think about what you read, think about what you see, think about what you purchase. Does that serve you and your community? Does it serve you beyond, some instant gratification? Are you in a poverty mindset? And I brought this up a couple of days ago. I think a poverty mindset is, so you could have $1 million and still have a
Still
poverty
have a
mindset.
party mindset, right?
Because like I said a couple of days ago, a lot of people don't want to make $1 million. They want to spend $1 million. And I think that's a big distinction. Do you want to make $1 million, or do you want to spend $1 million? Because if you just want to spend $1 million, then you've already thought about, all the things that you want to purchase, you're going to have to go to continue to maintain these purchases. But something we spoke about, one of our listeners, I think it was Miss Morales, said that I want to purchase my time back.
Right.
Wasn't that the quote? That I want to
Yes.
purchase
Yes.
my time back. And that was powerful, because people say time is money, but money ain't time, right?
Right.
We're buying back our freedom. How far have we really been removed from slavery, right? Did we give up the shackles and change just to be enslaved by debt, just to be enslaved by consumerism and maintaining these purchases that we really didn't need to get? It's just a thought.
Brandon, you know what?
Back to you,
I'll go
Mama.
back as we because as we get ready to bring it to a close. I want to go back to
Yeah.
the part here where it says the creator did not intend for any of us to blindly follow the crowd. We will begin
Mm,
to make our mark when we follow our own thoughts. Okay? When we follow our own
thoughts.
thoughts. So, in your thoughts have to be, that's why we say take every thought captive, measure
Mm,
it, not just to the word of God, but to the plan for your life, your goal. Are you taking those thoughts? Are you talking? Because you would think I'm crazy the way I talk to some of the thoughts that come up. Nope, not doing. I'm like Tupac. No, 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 no. We're not doing that. We're not doing this today. This is not the same, Tammy. I'm not going there with you. Sit in your own seat. And then our affirmation for today: I will not sell myself short. I will open myself up. It says not to the new shoes, not to the new car, to the new house, to the new suit that makes me look crippled. What else is new? To the new everything, but to new ideas and opportunities. That's a whole kind of newness of opening up on a new newness. See, so often we think, I want to get a new car, I want a new pair of new shoes. We go somewhere, and you know what? I'm gonna say it. Y'all remember
hey,
how we used to talk about, or we used to, I don't know if y'all, when it would be time to go back to school, right? Back to school. Black people go spend all this money, get these kids all this stuff. And white kids come back with the same jeans and tennis shoes they had last year. And parents be banked up. They ain't doing no school shopping. They getting
uh,
that school paper and them pencils and them books. But they buying all
mm,
them clothes we buy. What for? And that's why I said your child's mental state, emotional state is far more important than A's and B's. I believe in school, I believe in learning, but when we master the art of learning about who we are and what gift has God given us for this world,
mm,
when we take the time to, let's see what it says again, to open ourselves up to new ideas and opportunities, we will understand what God's gift is to us. And then we will be able to give that gift to the world because the gift that He created in you was created not just for you, but for someone else too. So we are leaving all these people empty because we don't know how full we are with that gift that God gave us for them.
mm,
Your life is an assignment. And that takes new ideas, imagination, creativity. That takes renewed thoughts, a renewed mind. That takes time. We're so busy working to get the things, I'm going to say it again, that keeps us working
mm.
and keep you feeling like you got it. But when the lights go off, like Christina Aguilera said, who is the girl I see staring back at me? When will my reflection show who I am inside?
Mm. And can I say something too about
I'm done. So you can say it all. I think I'm
when,
done for the day.
okay, when
Unless you
you
say something to trigger me.
right, it's okay. When we contort ourselves to fit a narrative, a generalization, um, and we get too used to that, eventually we'll have an outburst. Eventually, we'll have
Mm,
a critical moment. We'll have an outbreak. We'll have a moment where we are beside ourselves and our character. You know what I'm saying? We will have a
mhm,
moment of where the pressure that's built up inside of us actually being ourselves internally will crack the surface of the suit. We'll have a moment where we instinctively straighten our back, and instead of lowering our head, we raise our head and bring our shoulders back up out of that contorted cinch, and we break the suit. And now it looks like we have a broken suit, but we're actually standing in our true form. And I think
mhm,
if we don't take off these coats of conformity, if we don't take off these coats of that have made us contort our personalities, our psyches, our characteristics, and our character into these different forms, then we will inevitably have some type of calamity. And I'm reminded, I don't know if you heard about this, Mom, but there was a man yesterday. He has since passed away. I think he was like 25 years old. Um, he went to he was in Washington, D.C. He went to the Israeli embassy. He was a military guy dressed in his military form, his military suit. And he said, I will not be complicit anymore in the crimes of the United States and Israel, as it pertains basically about Gaza. He was a military man. I think he had went over there and did in the war, uh, in some kind of way, whether it been with Israel or whatever. But he said, I will not be complicit in the war crimes of the United States and Israel. And he set himself on fire
I mean, like,
yesterday, and it ain't even national news, in front of the Israeli embassy in Washington, D.C. He set himself on fire because of
mm,
the torture that he has been going through mentally from conforming himself to fit this narrative of child killer, or this 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 military of Western imperialism. He could not fit that mold anymore, so he broke out in the most dangerous way to himself, and he ended up setting himself on fire. Now, Secret Service came and extinguished him out, but as I found out this morning, he did not survive, and his last
mm,
words were "Free Palestine." But I wonder if really he was trying to free himself as well from the
mm,
bounds of fitting that military suit that obviously did not fit his character anymore. So I just think and that's just a small example of what I think this story is talking about. Are we fitting suits? Are we doing things and acting in ways that are counter to our actual beliefs, that are counter to how we really feel inside? Are they our own thoughts, or are we implanting our in thoughts and narratives that were not ours originally? And I know that's a heavy topic to end on, but make sure that you guys are not contorting and twisting and bending yourself out of your normal shape into someone else, into something else that does not serve you, does not represent you, and is not aligned with your purpose in life.
And Brandon, that's why, possibly, that is why, or this is why we feel. Think about how often people say, I'm tired. I just don't have enough time. I can't do this. I can't do this. Possibly, because you are twisted or bent, or you are twisting or bending out of your normal shape, out of how the Creator says the Creator did not intend for any of this, for
Mm,
us to be to blindly follow the crowd. So
right.
maybe, just maybe, if you sit down long enough and stop following the crowd and follow your own thoughts, your own imagination, just maybe life will start to change for you.
Mm.
So back over to you as you do what you do to end
Yes,
this.
yes, yes. As we come to a close, y'all, I know that was we went from high to low, we went from men to women, we went from military to black people, we went all around today, but it's all around this subject, and of one size fits all. Does it really fit all? Trent said heavy but needed. Great podcast this morning, guys. Thank you so much, Trent, for rocking with us each and every morning, man. We appreciate you, and you're a powerhouse yourself, man. I've been seeing you on Instagram and seeing the things that you put out there, man. You're a powerhouse yourself. So thank you for rocking with us, and we appreciate your attendance, man.
That's how I can't call it, might spoil it.
Man, that's my guy right there. So our passage for today is titled "One Size Fits All." Really think about that statement, and our quote comes from Julaine Malvo, an economist and syndicated writer, and she said, "It's a two-way street. Too many of us clothe ourselves in poverty." And our affirmation for the day that we read 3 times, one for me, one for you, and one for the person you're going to send it to or in the back of the room. I will not sell myself short. I will open myself up to new ideas and opportunities. Remember that this man bought that tailored suit. So he sold himself short. A short suit, short shoulders, short collar, but he made himself smaller in order to
Paid
fit
for
that.
it.
Paid for it. And
Paid for
oftentimes, how much are we paying for?
it. And
We
walked
paying,
out convinced.
yeah.
So somebody was like, brother,
Y'all
I know
pay
where
for
you
them.
got
Y'all
that suit
pay for them
from.
red bottoms. Y'all pay for them red bottoms. You might be 7 foot tall trying to fit in a Ferrari. You know that's
Yeah,
uncomfortable.
yeah, yeah.
For the second time, I will not sell myself
So
short.
myself,
I will open myself
open
up to
myself
new
up to
ideas
ideas
and
and
opportunities.
opportunities.
Can I get that one more time for everybody? I want y'all to say it with your heart. Say it with your mind. Say it with something inside of you. Say it seriously, y'all, because we need this. I need this. You need this. Our people need this. I will not. I will not sell myself short. I will open myself up to new ideas
Ideas
and
and
opportunities. And look at
opportunities.
the order of that. A new idea first, then the opportunity comes. But if you don't have that mind, that renewed mind, in order to see that new idea, in order to conjure up that new idea, then where the opportunities going to come from? If not
Uh,
from that table.
Brandon,
Yes, ma'am.
I want to do a last word today. The Creator did not intend for any
Mm,
of us to blindly follow. I'm going to say to pay for and blindly follow the crowd.
mm,
We will begin to make our mark when we follow our own thoughts.
mm.
What are you thinking? What's your stinking thinking?
And that could go for the church. It could go for the mosque. It could go it could go for the Democrats. It could go for the Republicans. Are you following blindly, or are you critically thinking about the things that you say you believe in, the ideals that you say you uphold? Do they really serve you? Is that really what you think? Are you serving people, or are you serving God, or are you serving yourself? These are things we got to think about, guys. Day 26, one size fits all. As we close out today, we just want to tell y'all that we love you. If
Peace.
nobody's told you that today, I love you. I love you. I appreciate you
I
being
love
here.
you.
I ain't
Peace.
afraid to tell you that I love you. If you my homeboy, I don't mind dapping you up and giving you a hug and telling you, bruh, I love you. If y'all need anything, y'all know where to find me. If y'all need my mother, you know where to find her. If you're contorting yourself too much and you feel like you're not being you, give us a call. We'll talk it through. Everything will be okay. So we'll be here right back the same time, same place tomorrow, 7 a.m. I hope y'all rock with us like you did today. We appreciate you, and peace.
Get the book, share the
Get the
video,
book.
come back tomorrow. Peace.